And just like that, it's another Monday. Welcome, everybody. I'm Russ Kane. This is the Midday Show, and it's Monday. God, we're nearly through September. How did that happen? How? Where's the year gone? You had a good year, like the blimp. Monday, 22nd of September. I got to be honest, not feeling chipper. I'd like to be feeling chipper. I'd like to be feeling, health and everything way better, but I am so irate. No idea when Neil is, so he'll rock up in his own Neil Long time. That's why he's known as the late Neil Long. The what Starmer has done has sent me into the depths. I can't even say despair. I just it's despicable. What a despicable human being. I mean, okay, they will be wiped off the political map in 4 years' time, but I wonder what will be left of the United Kingdom in 4 years' time. I don't see how we can survive another 4 years of these clueless clowns. They are unbelievable. And every time I think, well, I couldn't dislike them or loathe them any more than I already do. God damn. They are the Mariana Trench of politics. There is no bottom to it. You just plunge into this endless mire. Anyway, it is what it is. We are where we are. And the sad fact of the matter is there's just nothing you can do about it. Just absolutely nothing you can do about it. It's appalling. Anyway, here he is. You know him, you love him. He's the funniest man within 3.5 mile radius of the Tolworth Tower. Neil Longie Long.
I don't know if I'd say that, but thank you very much. Good morning, and how are you?
I think about it very carefully, Longie, and I calculate the radius with your humour. And it varies, it expands. I think the most we've been is 10 miles within the Tolworth Tower.
Well, that must have been a good day.
It was straight after I saw your fabulous show in that marquee about a year and a half, 2 years ago, which was just great. Tell us about your weekend. Did you have a marvellous time?
Yeah, I saw my daughter, spent the weekend with my daughter, and it was lovely.
Oh, how lovely. And how was that?
Marvellous.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice. Hello, Russ and Neil, says Robert Van Buren. He probably doesn't talk like that at all. But there you go. There we go. So there, Robert Van Buren. And was there any particular reason you were seeing your daughter? Any particular fact?
No, we just wanted to. It's like welcome to 2025. We have to book diary time to see the people.
Oh, jeez, tell me about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which is insane, really.
I like it that my kids, well, two of them anyway, they out of the four, they phone when they've got a gap in their schedule. So they always phone me from the car if they're going to pick somebody up. If they're on their way somewhere, they phone me from the car. This is what I get. I get this from my son in Texas. So when he's going to pick up somebody, and he's got a little bit of time, he phones me from the car, and it's another world. It's like entering Narnia when I talk to him. I spoke to him last week, and we're back in sweaters and t-shirts and shirts, t-shirts under shirts, keep warm, and jackets and stuff. He's still in shorts because it's 98 degrees out there.
Wow.
98. I know. I'm like, shut up. We're like, it's like autumn now, and all the leaves are coming down, and it's raining.
Well, it's the equinox today. It's like it's the
what does
equinox.
That mean? What today is it?
It means you're freezing in the morning, you're boiling hot in the afternoon because you wore the wrong clothes, and by the evening you're reconsidering your life choices. Equinox.
I do that every day. What are my life? What is going on? What do we have now? I got questions for you. All right, and I want to dive straight into it. You follow stuff in America, or you kind of give it a wide swerve?
Bit of both. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk. I'm in a quandary, and I want to talk to you about it because we've both been in the media a long time. Okay, and you do stand up all the time. I do it when the mood takes me. And the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel. Now, I'm going to lay my cards out here. This is why I'm in a quandary, and I really want to run it past you. I ran it past Phil Dave on Friday, and he came up with a brilliant answer because he's Phil Dave.
Don't tell me what you said.
I won't. No, I'm not going to. But he's got brain like a planet. Here's my problem. I can't stand Jimmy Kimmel. I've never liked Jimmy Kimmel. I always think he's unfunny. I find him oleaginous. I don't believe anything he says. And I always found him to be a shill for the Democrat Party. By the way, I'm not getting into American politics about this because this is although it's an international show, it's a British show, really. So, I'm laying my cards out. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. I don't find him entertaining. I have never liked his views. Okay. He's been taken off air. And I'm in a quandary about it because on the one hand, I couldn't give a monkey's that is been taken off air. And on the other hand,
it's the beginning of something dangerous.
I don't like that level of censorship. Now, my quandary, that's my quandary. To add a little bit of flesh to the bone, as it were, Kimmel was the first to celebrate when people he didn't like or whose policies he didn't approve of. He's a television host, he gives a shit, right? He was the first to celebrate when they were cancelled. Some brilliant quotes have been found about him today. He was the first person to go, yay, hooray, they're off air, right? Now it's happened to him, he's not so happy. 2, his ratings were tanking. There's approximately, 350 million people in America. About that, say 350, could be a bit more. His audience ratings were abysmal. They were a million. That was it. So when you rate that against a population of 350 million, you realize the show is tanking, losing money. So ABC, Disney wanted to get rid of it. I understand all of that. But because I'm a kind of libertarian, I'm not happy about somebody being cancelled like that. But where do you draw the line? What's your view? And then I'll tell you what Phil said, because I thought what he said was so intelligent.
Relating it back to certain people in England, I think some people have got some pretty pungent views.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't like them to get any airtime.
Yeah.
Because their views are divisive and dangerous.
Yes.
And unfair.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
And incitements to violence, incitements
and
to
all
hatred,
of that.
all of that.
Where do we draw the line? Because we do say we believe in free speech. It's that phrase, I don't agree with what you say, but I will defend your right to say it.
My problem, I tell you what, I always adhered to that, Neil. Always. Because I think it's a basic human right. And in the old days, and I say this till I'm blue in the face, right? You go, well, I tell you what, let's agree to disagree. You'd shake hands and go off and have a pint. Go and have a coffee or something. You didn't say, I hate Neil Long because he disagrees on this.
Yes,
that.
at what
you
point
could say,
did it,
so
at what point
it
did
changed.
it get so nasty?
It changed. This is why I don't adhere to it anymore. When it, saying I believe in free speech, and you go, yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't believe in hate speech. Free speech is not hate speech. Different thing. If you're inciting violence, if you're wishing death on other people,
to relate you to a relatively recent example in my life, I invited a new friend of mine, a gay lady, to do some stand-up comedy in the club that I co-run. And because she's from Hampshire, I invited her to stay here for the night. And we ended up having a really good conversation. And I posed her the same question. I said, look, goes without saying, I'm gay friendly. I've got no problem with gay people. I never have had, and I never will. No. Men or women. It doesn't bother me. It never has. But where did it get so nasty? Where did this divisiveness come? Even within the subsets of the communities. And she said, and we had a really good, long, adult conversation about it. The straight heterosexual guy talking to the gay married girl, and we're friends. And the conversation was friendly, but and she said, because we don't have the conversation, which would suggest to me it's possibly a lack of understanding.
I don't.
In that case,
I'm going to put my hand
had
on.
people spit at her down the street, which is disgusting.
Well,
Now that's disgusting.
I'm just gonna. Of course, it is. It's absolutely repulsive. I'm going to put my hand on the hornet's nest and say this: the whole trans issue. This is just my view. I'm not being prescriptive about it. The whole trans issue has set back gay rights 20, 30 years. Same as Black Lives Matter. I believe it totally. I honestly believe it. I think Black Lives Matter set back racial equality and racial understanding 30 years.
I can't comment on that.
I really do.
I think we're doing
That's how
better
I feel.
Racially than America, and I think there's still a long way to go, but I think we are moving in the right direction. But then again, for me, it's never bothered me that someone's been gay or black or
no, it doesn't.
whatever.
No, absolutely right.
You know, so it's not really something. It's not really something I've given an awful lot of thought to. If they're a decent person, if they're a decent person, they're a decent person. I don't.
They're a
give
decent person. Period. That's it.
Or what colour they are.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me.
When I talk to my gay friends and my gay relatives, who I adore, they feel the same.
Mm.
You know, it's like, what is the matter with you? I think, you know, gay people just want to get on, but everybody just wants to get on. But this militant, brutal, violent entity.
Well, we can draw the line there. If it gets militant, brutal, and violent, then the line has.
Have you seen the people who were hounding Graham Linehan, for example? Did you see the people who were behind it? When you see them, I'm not mentioning any names. They are highly litigious and they're dangerous. I think they're raving mad. But anyway, that's just me. I really do think they're on balance. You see the people who've been hounding Graham Linehan. Wow. You think that is responsible? Well, I'm going to come back because I don't want to gloss over it. What Phil Dave said on Friday, which I hadn't thought of because Phil is very smart regarding the Jimmy Kimmel thing. All right. And it's not about, I'm not going on about Jimmy. I mean, it's an American talk show. It's irrelevant over here. Irrelevant. But the principle's the same. The principle is universal. If you go on TV or radio and you give an opinion, you say, that's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's your opinion. You and I don't agree on everything. Why on earth would we? But it's clear, Longie, that it may be true. I got to finish this. The thing is, it's clear it's an opinion. So when you're saying something, you go, well, that's my opinion. And I go, and that's my opinion. When you say stuff and you portray it as fact, this is what Phil Day was saying. You portray it as fact. That is not the same thing. So when Jimmy Kimmel says, and the shooter, the shooter of Charlie Kirk was a MAGA supporter, he was this, that, and the other, and you go, well, none of that's true. That's not an opinion. That is a lie. And that's why it was very insensitive. Do I think he should have apologized? Yeah. He should have apologized for it, but I don't think he needed to be taken off air. But it's a great excuse for ABC and Disney to dump him because he was costing them a lot of money. I get that. You know, we live in the real world, not the make-believe world. So that was what Phil Dave said. It's the difference between having an opinion and just lying and saying things are fact.
It's very difficult sometimes to tell the truth. Not to tell the truth in a sense to speak the truth, but to decipher, to discern the truth in a world of social media, in a world of agendas, in the commercial world where they want bums on seats or eyeballs on screens.
Or clickbait.
You know, and when you get through all that, it's very, very hard to decipher what, and something might be true in some contexts, but not others.
Yeah.
You know, or it might be true for one person, but not true for another.
But some things, would you agree with this? Some things are absolute. There's no wiggle room. There's no gray area. Some things are absolute. Because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean you can shoot them in the neck with a rifle or blow them up. That's absolute, surely. isn't it?
Well, yes, it should be.
Well, you're right.
Violent
It should
resolution
be. It
of
should be.
disagreement.
So Charlie,
is-
just using Charlie Kirk as an example, I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. I'm just using him as a good example. The bloke didn't like what he was saying, so he killed him. Well, if you're going to open that door, every time most of the ministers in this country open their mouths, I don't agree with anything they say. I don't have the right to kill them. This is madness.
Yep.
Isn't that it?
It's insanity.
I can't, Reginald D. Hunter and his comments and everything are disgusting. I totally agree with that. I'm not going to go up and shoot the guy. Where would it stop?
Until everyone's
This
dead.
is where we're at. This is what's so dangerous and so utterly mad that people are now saying, well, there's a grey area. The Ukrainian girl minding her own business, sitting on public transport, and this maniac behind her stabs her to death, and everyone sits and watches. And then the Black Lives Matter, well, maybe he had her. What? What was she doing? She's sitting there reading a book. Complete stranger. There's no grey area on this. There's no wiggle room. There's no excuse for it. The world can't continue down this road. It can't. It just can't. And I feel very passionate about that because I feel so impotent watching it all happen. And I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem so many of us face.
Because it just outrages any decent person's sense of decency.
Yeah.
It just makes you wonder what the hell. I don't have an answer. But many things have outraged my sense of fairness and decency over the years, and I find if you get upset about all of it, you just spend your whole life being upset. I think we've become a bit desensitized. But then when completely innocent people just get attacked because of this or because of that or because of whatever,
because she was white.
What we going to go for next? Capricorns,
Well, Aza, watching in northeastern United States, says this: Russ and Neil, I've always agreed with Martin Luther King that a person should not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. Absolutely. Could I expand that, Dr. Brown? Could I expand that and say that is why DEI doesn't work? The only people getting a job should be the person who is the most qualified to do the best job, whatever it might be. I don't care if it's a painter, a brain surgeon, a politician. It's irrelevant. Who is the most qualified? Who's going to do the best job to help everybody else?
Of course, meritocracy.
Not meritocracy, not an aristocracy, which I've never believed in, and not a DEI appointment. Because why? Why? The people who come on this show are because I know they're going to be the best. I don't care what they look like. It's irrelevant to me. I couldn't care less. Are they going to be interesting, conversationalists? Are they going to be good broadcasters? Here we got Leslie Jones. Would you like to read this out, Longie?
I heard a guest on a show say speech is violence on a speech radio show. Don't think the lift went to her top floor.
Jesus Christ. I mean, this is just... What has happened, though? I'm going to choose my words carefully. Because we have seen so many people who we believe to be innocent, we've witnessed their violent acts and their violent actions and their calls for violence, just walk away scot-free. And then you compare it to Lucy Connolly, who did a stupid tweet. Okay, it was a stupid tweet, but the reaction was ludicrous. When you see that, what you got is that violence and terrorism leads to results. The fact that Starmer and his bunch have today recognized the state of Narnia, Palestine, that what does it say? It says that if you're violent, rape, behead, burn, shoot, maim, rocket attack, we will recognize you. Well, you know what? That works both ways. That works both ways. That's a really dangerous door to open.
I thought you'd have something to say about that.
I can't even go there. I can't even go there. If I thought I couldn't despise this man any more than I do, I have no words. It has sent me into the depths of despair.
What was his justification for it? Because I'm sure
Muslim votes. Let's just cut the shit. Muslim votes. The end. That's his justification. Don't care what he says because the man is a serial liar. I think it's a pathological liar. I actually do. I don't think he knows the difference between truth and lies anymore. Well, that's just me. You know, he's also a career lawyer, a human rights lawyer. That's all he understands, right? So, and he's like a robot. But anyway, the truth is, why is he doing it? Because they know they're going to get annihilated at the next election. They're going to get wiped off the political map. The only people are going to vote for them, and they need the Muslim
and replace
vote.
with who?
Well, it won't. Who the hell knows? It'll be somebody. None of it's going to be great. It'll probably be reform. I think Farage will get in by a landslide. Whether you like it, whether you don't, they've had it coming. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I mean, the truth of the matter is you need more policies than let's just get everyone who's illegal out the country. It's a start. But you need more policies than that. That's not an entire platform to run a political party on. You know, you've got to look at growth and regeneration. You've got to have reassurance, calm everybody down. Yeah. Much of this is solvable. You know, a lot of it is solvable. But he's gone after I don't understand this appeasement. This is just like, I wonder, you know, if we went back in a time machine, you and I, right, to the 1930s, and we were discussing Neville Chamberlain appeasing Hitler, coming back with his piece of paper that wasn't worth one sheet of Andrax, quite frankly, you know, what would we be saying then? You look at it in the context.
Will we ever learn?
No, this absolute Neil. You have just absolutely,
which is why we keep on repeating these different faces, different places, but the same experience. You're going to read that, or shall I?
No, you should read. You should read it.
Philip Harling, when my mother was young,
speaking voice.
Her family were friends with a person called Leary Constantine, a West Indian local politician. My mother, who was around 4 at the time, must have overheard someone talking about him and confronted him with Uncle Connie, her nickname for him. You never told me you were a black man.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Leslie Jones, think Israel will not stop all intelligence exchanges with the UK? This would blow up in Starmer's face. Metaphorically, we hope. When he realizes his big mistake, which is you can't tell Palestinians who will or won't govern them. Yeah, Israel and their allies will regard the UK as a hostile state, which it is now. It's a hostile state. You know, why should they share intelligence? Why should they do that? And what's going to happen the next time there's another Manchester Arena? There's another 7-7 with the buses and the tubes. What's Starmer's position going to be there now? Oh, we recognize him. It's nothing to do with us. What's he going to do? He's got nowhere to go. And what is it is so depressing and so upsetting and just so shocking. Him, the craven French who have a long history of caving in to anybody, and the Canadians run by Mark Carney, who I can't abide. Where do we go from here? It won't be pretty. That's my problem. It's really set me into so I need your advice, Longie. I need your advice. Do I just live my life in a bubble, come off social media completely, not engage, and just live in blissful ignorance, or do I continue? I don't know what to do. It's a serious question.
I think you need to consider your own well-being.
Oh, my well-being is screwed. I'll be absolutely honest, screwed today. Screwed. I'm apoplectic.
Yeah, maybe you've answered your own question.
Yeah, but then I've walked away from it. Even if there was the slightest thing I could do to help, don't you think it behooves me to do that? That's my moral quandary. I'll be honest. Either Don Brown's the sort of guy who should be discussing this.
Do you not? I mean, I heard a great quote once, and it's sort of a bit metaphorical, so bear with me, but you're of more value to the world in the joy of your cross-stitching than you are in the drudgery of your work you don't want to do. I can't remember the exact.
Yeah. I agree.
You know.
I agree.
So
I think the feeling is there is nothing we can do. We just have to ride it out. Because that huge march, which the mainstream media, the legacy media, said, oh, they're all far-right fascist thugs. It's bullshit. No, they weren't. They were mums and dads, grandmas and grandpas, children in pushchairs, people in wheelchairs. You know, it was a march out of frustration. Out of frustration to say, we're mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore. But my question is, even if 150,000 people march through London, the Tommy Robinson March, call it that, if you like, the Tommy Robinson March, so what? I get why they were there. The huge levels of frustration. I totally understand that, Longie, but so what? What's the next step? What are they going to do? Nothing. Nothing. The only power you have is at the ballot box, not the ballot box, the ballot box. That's the only power that you have in any democratic organization, any country worth its salt. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all very well to say, I'm sick of this and I'm going to march and blah, blah, blah. Not that we haven't endured years, every bloody Saturday, with these hate marches, these Hamas supporters, these terrorist supporters marching through central London and just causing chaos. Yeah. See, Phil Dave came completely off social media and feels so much better for it. Completely off. Won't look at it. Discontinued all his accounts. He's off. Done. Finished.
maybe that's your answer.
But I run the business through that. I run this through that.
Then use it for what you choose to use it for.
And not look at it. Not read anything. I know that's the question. That's not a rhetorical question. That's the question. And not look at what's going on.
At what cost?
I don't know what to do.
At what cost to you, then?
Oh, the cost isn't good. But I'd readily admit that the cost is not good. It's absolutely affected me. Without a shadow of a doubt. Or go the other way, here's the thought, and go into politics. Stand as a councillor somewhere. Go completely the opposite. Leslie Jones. The ballot box is king. Here in Surbiton, maybe we can bring down Ed Davey. What a buffoon he is. Sir Ed Davey, the post office scandal man. Tough call, but Reform could poll 20% here. I think they probably will. Ed Davey.
See, I quite like Ed Davey. So there we go.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Why?
Because he seems just like a reasonable, decent bloke and does reasonably good things locally, in my opinion. Sorry, Leslie. I'm just down the road from you, Leslie.
No, I know. I thought you'd have a view.
I'll meet you on the corner of Surbiton High Street if you think you're hard enough. No, that was a joke. But
car park 5 minutes.
But sorry, you cut out there. Midday show. We have a slight internet. Russ is frozen, and we just need to catch up. So I'm just saying something to fill the silence until it catches up again. Leslie stood as a councillor twice Backside kick both times. I moaned, but at least I had a go. And fair enough. I mean, that's a good thing. I think when it comes to political things, no two people are ever going to agree fully. It's like, it's the old thing, isn't it? Politics and religion. I don't know if you can hear me, Russ. You might want to log yourself out and back in again. Yeah, he's done that. Asa Don Brown, I regularly consult businesses and organisations. It's my professional opinion that Jimmy Kimmel's firing is based on a number of factors not conveyed to the media. He wasn't merely fired because of his rants and ratings, etc. Yeah. 6'5", 15 stone retired outdoor worker versus long man. No, you'd kick my backside, Leslie. I promise you, it was just a joke, sir. I'll probably end up buying you a beer in the Victoria or something like that. That'd be much nicer. But I've never had any negative experience with Ed Davey. He for me, provided an alternative to the Conservative and the Labour, and I do maintain he did some good things locally. And I met him, and he seemed perfectly. Ed Davies scrounged a cigarette off me in the Radio Jackie backyard once, and I said, "Bloody politicians," and he laughed. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, and it bugs us when we don't know, doesn't it? Because I think our mind wants answers. We want answers. We're sick of the chaos. We're sick of all the. Most of us in our hearts are just sick of all the trouble, all the chaos, all the fighting, all the violence. I most certainly am. Victoria Pub's being refurbished. You and me in the Coronation Hall, lol. Yeah, I know the Coronation Hall. Yeah, absolutely. If I meet you in person, Leslie, I will buy you a beer. I'm very friendly. That was only a joke, I assure you. But yeah, and we're sick of it. And we rack our brains, and the more we rack our brains, then more and more contradictions. It becomes impossible, doesn't it? Which is why maybe watching what we feed our brains might be a sensible thing to do. Certainly for the time being. I mean, it's all right to know what's going on, but to be so involved, so into it, you can't. We've all had a problem where someone looks at it objectively and you think, oh yeah, that's a really good point of view. I wish I'd thought of that. But you can't, because you can't see the wood for the trees, can you? Can you? I don't know. Maybe we all need to pull back a little bit. I honestly don't know. What about you watching and listening? What do you think? Pull back from social media completely? Dr. Asa, what do you think? Would you recommend that to your patients? I mean, I've heard many stories of people that have split up from their phones, split up from social media, and they say they're a lot happier for it. And maybe that is the key to what it takes to live happily in an uncertain world. You know, just be certain of the things you can be certain of, I suppose. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd be interested in your thoughts on that, Dr. Asa. I really would. Just looking back through the comments now. I think it's also worth acknowledging that there are many focus on the bad an awful lot of the time. There are many good people doing many good things, and that needs to be celebrated. There's many people putting out really good work into the world. Many people have found their niche based on quite possibly lived experience, quite possibly difficult lived experience, but and they're putting out good work into the world now, and maybe we should celebrate more of that. Maybe our focus should be on more of that. What can we contribute? We've all got lots of experience. We've all got things we can contribute to the well-being of others and ourselves, haven't we? What do you think? Oh, okay. So let's ask the big question. Are we victims to it? Are we a victim of circumstances, certain circumstances that other people have created? I was just asking the question, Russ. Chris Brooks.
Hello.
I don't think the world has changed.
I haven't had a complete outage.
Chris Brooks. Hello, Chris Brooks. I don't think is that the Chris Brooks that I used to work with.
I've got a
picture's tiny
complete
and I can't
outage
see
here of internet.
That's all right. Welcome back. Chris Brooks. If that's the Chris that I work with, let me know, Chris. And if it is, lovely to see you, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed working with you. Very, very good DJ and presenter. I don't think the world has changed, Hughes, since we were growing up. We're just being fed in real time every little detail. Yeah, there is that. Is that the Chris that I know? Please let me know, Chris. Philip, as long as you don't take a lot of social media posts too literally, learn to separate fact from BS, you should be okay. Yeah, because Facebook is him. Hello, mate. How are you? Chris Brooks. I used to work with him, Russ, at Essex FM. I came from Capital, then he went to Capital, and he's still doing great things in the radio business to this day. Fantastic chap. Hello, Chris. Lovely to hear from you, my friend. Hello. How are you? Good to hear from you, mate. And I think Russ. Oh, God, Russ has frozen again. What are you up to nowadays, Chris? Pop it on the timeline. You still working for Radio Essex and doing great things there. God, that's a nostalgic blast from the past. I remember covering for you on your evening show with Dan, the producer, annoying Jeff O'Brien, program controller at the time, down at Essex FM. Yeah, I'd love to know what you're doing nowadays, Chris. In detail. Be nice to have a catch up. So asking the big question: Are we victims to it? We have to have an awareness of why we're fed the information we're fed, plus an awareness of algorithms as well. Because if you search for an awful lot of things, you'll get an awful lot, and people can live in a bubble and not realize there's any other points of view or anything else outside that bubble. You are close. Work for Radio Jackie, Surbiton Security on the case. I don't know what you mean by that, Leslie. Can you put some meat on the bone for that for me? Chris, running Radio Essex. Yeah, I thought so. And still getting away with it. No, you put yourself down. You're extremely good at what you do, Chris. Extremely do. I would not hesitate to endorse your work at any moment whatsoever. Good to hear from you, my friend. Really good. Leslie, you're going to need to explain that to me. You are close. Work for Radio Jackie, Surbiton Security on the case. I don't know what you mean. Are you saying you worked for Radio Jackie? Did you run our security? I don't know what you mean by that. So we're kind of dodging around the question is how. All right, let's pose it in a slightly different way. How, in a world that's always been uncertain, and every epoch has had its uncertainties, so how can you live in a balanced and happy manner in a world where nothing seems certain? All right. You worked for Radio Jackie, Neil. That's the Mordor of the local area. How dare you? Excuse me. I still work for Radio Jackie. That's my workplace, Leslie Jones.
Should we try again? Is this working at all?
You just compared Radio Jackie to Mordor. How unkind.
What a nerve. What a nerve. I've given up on the laptop, and now I am on the my mobile phone. Fantastic. Okay. Good. Can you hear me all right? Is it all right?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
How fantastic is that?
Say hello to my esteemed colleague, Chris Brooks, who I haven't heard from for ages.
The Chris Brooks, yeah. Hello, Chris Brooks. How are you? How is he?
He's good, running Radio Essex at the moment. Very good presenter.
Radio Essex, you know what I mean?
Oh, so stereotypical.
I know. I love when I do, as a celebrant, funerals that are based in Essex, because everybody turns up. It looks like they're at Ascot. It's sensational. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they go big, don't they?
Everyone goes incredible. You know, all the women have got like stilettos and skirts so big. It's very entertaining. I've got to be the other way around, haven't we? There we are. Oh, will it work? No, I'm leaving it. Right. So anyway, there we. What did I miss, Longie?
I posed a deep question, and I haven't had any responses to it.
What was
the
question?
How can we, in a world that's always been uncertain and will continue to be so, live in a balanced, happy manner?
Let's take this off. Okay, this is hopeless. All right, hang on.
What on earth are you doing?
I'm trying to do something. and switching off the laptop because it may be sucking up power. I don't know. What was the big question? Because I didn't hear it. It went.
Chris is harking back to your capital days. Kane in the plane, how are you, my friend?
Older and no wiser. I'm fine. It's a long time ago. But bless you for remembering. Anyway, so the big question was what? Yeah, I'm not a tech wizard. There's nothing I can do if the internet goes down, my friend Leslie. There's nothing I can do, Mr. Leslie Ian Jones. What's the question? Being dust. Finding one's, what's it say?
Now look at this. Asa Don Brown with a brilliant response. Russ,
I can't read any of that because it's on a tiny little phone.
I can. Russ, there are many benefits to social media, but likewise, there are many issues that cause us to feel distracted, frustrated, and irritated. It's recognizing your triggers, emotions, and need to disengage. You may need to distance yourself from social media accounts for a period of time. There's many benefits to disengaging or detoxing from social media. Being so wired in can have a toll on our person. Yes, it's about balance and finding one's personal peace. Be certain to recognize when you run out of space. Would like to hear the rest of that, Asa. Leslie Jones, they use the flying over at Tolworth Radio Jackie. Well, a crow. How rude. He's having a real go at Radio Jackie this morning, honestly.
Why is he having a pop at Radio Jackie? You're doing a great job. How long have you done that breakfast show? 20, how many years?
22 years.
Good God. 22 years. And how many on-air radio wives have you had? Because I know you've got Nikki now.
Nikki is my long stay, but I've had several radio bits on the side over the years.
Oh, if you would be allowed to say such a thing.
Not at all. I've worked with some fantastic women over the years, actually. Why is that funny?
I'll tell you why it's funny. Because I just think we've got to a state in the world where I just think, I don't know, you're allowed to say that? Can Neil say that? I've worked with some fantastic women over the years. Does that have some sort of bizarre connotation that they wouldn't be fantastic? Do you have to say people? I don't know.
Let's not be silly. I've worked with some fantastic radio people over the years, male and female. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying that? How can that possibly be wrong?
I don't know. Listen, I think we should spend just a little time and say R.I.P. to the great John Stapleton, who passed away.
Yes, indeed.
I remember what him. What a legend he was. What a nice man.
He always, do you know, that's how he came across. He came across just literally, as you say, a thoroughly decent, nice man.
Yeah.
Married to Lynn Foldswood, of course.
Who passed away a few years ago. Yeah.
And
so I met them both.
I remember him filling in for James Whale, actually, who we recently lost as well, on LBC. And he was always a really consistent, good presenter and just sounded like a really nice man.
I met John Stapleton and his wife, Lynn, a few years back. I'd never met them before. They didn't know who on earth I was. It was a social event. It was nice. It was somebody's party. And they were both so nice and so charming. And if you believe in these things, I hope they're reunited now. And if you don't believe in these things, well, just bless his memory. And remember, John Craven's news round. I'm thinking of John Craven. I'm going around the bend. John Stapleton. Forget me, I'm going mad. I used to love John Craven's news round as well. That was a great way of introducing children, gently into the more adult world, but in a gentle, very positive way. And how rare is that? But John Stapleton, a very nice fellow. And the other person we should just acknowledge, Pete Murray, who was 100 last week, 100 years old.
And he did a radio show to celebrate his 100th birthday.
Wow.
Now, how cool is that? Maybe it's people like this that we should be celebrating.
Absolutely. Pete Murray, as long as I can ever remember my earliest memories of radio, Pete Murray was a part of it, growing up. And I found his very laid-back style as a kid most appealing. He wasn't yelling and shouting and doing an Emperor Roscoe, which I also liked at the time, because that felt like a proper show. I know it was nonsense, but when the Emperor Roscoe did his shows, it felt like a show, you know? You felt this is a real performance. But Pete Murray's very relaxed style I always enjoyed. To be 100 though, bless him. That is some achievement these days. That is some damn achievement. Especially bearing in mind, Neil, that so many of the funerals I do are so much younger than me or my age. So to get to 100 is no small feat in a world gone bonkers.
Maybe we should celebrate the good that we have, and it is said that what you appreciate appreciates, that what you put your focus on gets more and more and bigger in your experience. So focus on the good
love
stuff.
that. Do that. Run that by again, because that is lovely, and I needed to hear that.
What you give your focus to gets bigger, or what you appreciates.
What you appreciate. Oh God, this is the most
so to use the accountancy term, you got depreciation, decreasing, or appreciation. Can also mean I appreciate, I love something, or it can also mean gets bigger. So if it is a question of focus, that we get more of what we give our focus and attention to.
That's beautiful. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
To give our focus to the good stuff. And if that means coming off social media.
Yeah.
I mean, to put it this way, we could have spent the first half hour of the show talking about Pete Murray and celebrating him and Chris Brooks, one of our radio friends, came up and he's still doing really well at Radio Essex. You know what I mean? We could have talked about that, but we got into the downside of social media, which feels better.
Well, I know which feels better, but I don't think we can just shove it under the carpet in as much as it's the downside. It's the reality. And what
so is the other stuff. So is the other stuff. It all exists.
Agreed.
It all exists, and it's going to carry on all existing. So the question might be, if we're going to drill down on this, what do you want more of, mate?
What do peace of mind.
Then you can't. Then putting your focus on things that destroy your peace of mind and trying to get peace of mind out of it is probably like trying to screw for virginity.
I like the sound of that suddenly. No, I hear you. You know, it's just that if you think you've got even the tiniest voices, even the tiniest in an ocean, you know, if you're one drop of water in the Pacific Ocean and you think you can make the slightest difference, in my head, maybe it's worth giving it a go, but I just feel maybe not anymore.
But
then they've won. But then they've won.
And that's it.
Then they've won. I don't know if I can allow that to happen. For my own, you know, looking yourself in the mirror. You think, well, you could have done something.
But sorry to counter that, but we've had this conversation this morning. Yeah. I've said a couple of things that you really liked. You stimulated that thought. You said what you said. What can I do? You, Russ, stimulated that thought in my mind. I wouldn't have said that had you not said what you said. Mm-hmm. How do you know somebody won't watch this on repeat or is listening now and really needed to hear that? And you say you don't make a difference.
Well,
how can you say that? If you join the morass, the screaming masses, you probably won't make a difference. You might even make it worse.
I agree, but let me ask you this. Bon
Jovi did that song called "Do What You Can" when it was lockdown. That kind of sums it up. If you can't do what you do what you can.
Yeah,
you're never going to be responsible for world peace, but perhaps world peace.
No, I'm not. But here's the thing.
Perhaps world peace is a personal thing. Perhaps one person, to use the term that's going around a lot, vibrating at peace, is much more powerful than all the ones that are disconnected.
Oh, I love that. But here's my point, and it's a serious point.
You're of more value in the joy of your cross-stitching.
This is my point, and help me out with this, because it's complicated. Because life is not just black and white, you know.
Look at that.
Gents, if you didn't make a difference, I wouldn't listen. Well, bless you. Thank you, Leslie
So that
Jones.
answers your question, Russ.
But if I don't see what's going on in the world, we're on 3 times a week. You're on a Wednesday, I'm on Monday and Fridays, right? That's the way that I created this little outlet that we have, this little family that we've grown together. Huge thanks to you. As I always say thank you. Whenever I write to you, I always say thank you. You know I don't take it for granted. But if I live in a little happy clappy kumbaya bubble and have no idea what's going on, how can I bring any intellect to what we try to discuss? A lot of the time, I know we're arsing about and we're laughing and we're joking, but sometimes life gets very serious and we're grown up. And what Starmer has done is horribly serious and grown up with huge ramifications. But put even that to one side. If I live in my own little bubble, what would I talk about strictly? We're going to discuss sequins and sparkles for the next 3 months while it's on.
Then
That's my concern.
Then I refer back to Ace's comment. Being so wired in, it's a question of balance, can have a toll on our person. It's about balance and about finding one's personal peace. Be certain to recognize your limitations and to call a timeout from time to time.
Yes, I am going to have to. I mean, I've got a friend who I've known for years and years and years and years, who not only doesn't watch the news, doesn't keep up with anything at all, only deals with her own showbiz stuff. She lives in this showbiz bubble, and you can't have a conversation. I adore her. I always have. We've been friends, I don't know, 30 years or more, right? And we're very close. But you can't have a conversation with her about anything outside, really, of showbiz. Nothing. She go, well, I don't know about that. And I'm thinking, well, you're probably a lot happier than me. I just think you don't know anything about it. It doesn't bother you. You're thrilled. You've got 3 months of Strictly Come Dancing. You're in a happy place. I got 3 months of having to watch Tess Daily, which makes me not in such a happy place, although I have to like Strictly. I think it's fun and frothy and looks light and lively and it's joyous in a grim world. I get that.
What you survive and learn from makes you stronger. With that strength, you can help others, says Leslie. I agree with that, sir.
Say that again. I'm not getting the comment because I'm on my phone.
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry. What you survive and learn from makes you stronger. With that strength, you can help other people. True.
You know, I've never, Leslie Jones, I've got to be honest with you. Everybody quotes, not everybody, that's a ridiculous thing to say, Russie, but a lot of people quote Nietzsche, you know, that which does not destroy you makes you strong. I totally disagree because I think the things which have tried to destroy me, have tried to destroy me. I don't feel stronger for it. I feel exhausted from it. So all the things that have come along that have been deeply, deeply, deeply unpleasant, I don't go, yeah, I survived stronger. I'm absolutely shattered and exhausted from it all. It's like a battle that never stops. So I'm not Nietzsche in that regard, I do not believe. You know, you don't come away from it unaffected. I think would be fair to say.
So you believe the nurturer rather than the Nietzsche.
Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, he'll be back at the midnight show at our beautiful Crystal Ballroom on the 15th deck. But right now, it's back to Ray McVeigh and his band of the day and some time to get dancing. Take it away, Ray.
Philip Harling, I don't agree with all that's said on the show. Presumably you mean this one, but I respect others' opinions. Thank you. And I don't always agree.
No,
either.
Of course not.
But you don't have to agree to be able to have an open forum, an adult discussion. This is
and also Philip, things fluctuate. There's people who I liked, and I'm going to be honest, admired. And now I look at them and I go, Jesus, what was I thinking? 2 people immediately come to mind. Tucker Carlson, who I think I didn't want to go there and depress myself, and Candace Owens. Candace Owens, I don't know if they've gone raving mad or what, and I totally disagree with them. Totally disagree. And I have to say, Candace Owens, because of her comments about Madame Macron, is going to get her arse handed to her in court. The Macrons aren't going away on this. I'm no fan of the Macrons. But what she said, if they prove otherwise, Candace Owens is toast. If they take her to court, with proper medical evidence, etc., she's got nowhere to go. They will absolutely destroy her. And if it's true, quite rightly so, for fulminating such a vile lie, if they prove it. You know what she said, right? You familiar with any of that?
Afraid not.
Okay, Candace Owens, one of the most influential, millions of followers in America. And I really admired what she used to say. And now I can't watch her at all. I just go like, what the hell's happened to you? So we can be fluid. We can change our minds on people. We're not locked into it. It's not built in concrete and steel. And she said, basically, that Macron's wife is a man. This is what she's saying. This is not what I'm saying. Be very, very clear. Candace Owens basically saying Macron's wife is a dude. And they have not gone away and ignored it. And they're fighting this. And if they come for her, good luck.
Got some more comments here.
Okay.
Dave, hope greetings to you all. Hope everyone has a great week. I want to talk to Dave Sleep more about his alpha wave therapy, which is fascinating me. JD, the music fella. Hi, gents. Long time watching. Apologies. Russ, at least you're talking about it. It's those that don't that have more problems. And that ties in very nicely to what Dr. Asa is saying, agreeing with me. Thank you, Dr. Asa. I wholeheartedly agree. Russ is playing an important role in many lives, including my own. I genuinely value this show and what you do for others. Leslie, if they try to destroy you, I'll give it back with dividends. But karma can be a bitch, Leslie. Karma can be a bitch. And Leslie, Russ Kane dancing the tango with Petri Hoskin. Dream team. I like Petri Hoskin. I've never met her, but I think she's a great broadcaster. Another great woman in the industry, in my opinion. And it seems that Russ has frozen again. On Wednesday, we're going to be, hopefully, I did invite her back, haven't confirmed it yet, talking to a lady called Serena Novelli. She is an author. She's written several books, and she's got a new one coming out. So we're going to do like a mini sort of midday show book launch, having a nice uplifting conversation with the lovely Serena Novelli on Wednesday. And Russ has hopefully come back in. Here he is. Oh, this is creepy. He's on twice. There's two of you. Let's get rid of that one.
Weird. I don't know. I have no idea what is happening today, ladies and gentlemen. At the net.
Russ is frozen. Just let it go. Very, very good. Very, very good.
I can't. I do the shows. I think it's therapy for me, and today it's just been impossible. Are you there, Mr. Neil?
Yeah,
know your middle name.
I'm going to leave that one on the screen because we can all get a bit down on ourselves, and perhaps it is good to know that in a small way you can make a difference.
Could you read it? Because I actually can't see it. So would you be so sweet as to read it?
I'll read it again for you. Neil, I wholeheartedly agree. This is when I said that you made a difference. Russ is playing an important role in many lives, including my own. I genuinely value this show and what you're doing for others.
Well, bless you. That is so kind. I think we should leave it there.
All right, I'm just going to say something to you. Excuse my language. Take the fucking compliment, Russ.
Oh, well, thank you. I will do my best. But anyone who knows me well know that I have huge problems doing that. I wish I could. I'd probably be a happier chap. I find it very difficult to take a compliment. But that's really nice.
I appreciate your words. And from someone so senior and learned like Dr. Asa, I really
precisely.
You know.
I do hope he comes to England and we can meet him.
Yes, well, he's been on the show. We had a great chat on the show one.
Oh, I know that, but I'd like to sit opposite the dude and have a proper chat.
Yeah,
and
we
can all get on. He's a legendary guy. He's such an
Paul Claridge, Neil, I met Petri at a mutual friend's birthday party some few years ago. Spent a long time chatting on a very warm night beside the Thames. She's got a great sense of humour. Yeah, she strikes me as that, actually.
Petri?
Yeah.
Petri Hoskin.
Petri. How many other Petris do you know?
Petri Dish. Petri Hoskin's great.
I bet she's heard that a million times.
Well, I just call her the Dish. She knows that. She's heard that since school. She was so sick of it. So that's why I do it extra, just to wind her up. Petri Hoskin,
could be worse things to be called than the Dish, I suppose.
Well, it could be. Could be called the waste bin, or the food recycling bin. That would be just ghastly. No, Petri's lovely. She's great.
Serena Novelli on the show on Wednesday, and hopefully
I like the sound of it. Please tell me she's a fabulous Italian cook.
Author, actually. and she's got a book coming out, another book. And hopefully, if we get some time, I'd like to talk to Dave about his alpha wave therapy, which are the slower, more blissy waves that we make in our brain rather than the beta state, which most of us are in all the time. So it's science of that. It's all interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Philip Harling, she's very cultured. Very good, Philip.
Well, the Petri dish, yes, excellent gag. Well done, Philip. That's good. She's a lovely person. Petri's one of my favourite people. She's great. Neil, as ever, thank you. Sorry about our tech issues. What can you do? When it happens, it happens. There we go. There's only me and Neil. We don't have teams of engineers running around behind the scenes. Thank you for your fabulous comments. Neil will be back with somebody with a very exotic name. Give the name again. I loved it.
Serena Novelli.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
And if we get time, talk to Dave Sleet as well, because I want to have a proper chat about that. I don't want to sort of just do it for 10 minutes. I'll be in touch, Dave, to book a proper session with you on the show.
Excellento, Ambassador. How you spoil us. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy your week. Longie, a pleasure as always. And to everybody watching, bye-bye.